Toledo Organic Tequila is so crisp, so incredibly smooth, it's simply in a category by itself. This is luxury. Life tastes better naturally, so should your tequila. This is Toledo. Enjoy responsibly. Visit ToledoTequila.com to get your bottle of Toledo Organic Tequila. Get a 10% discount on DJ the Money Coach by entering promo code MONEY at checkout. Again, that's ToledoTequila.com, promo code MONEY to get 10% off your Toledo purchase. Now, let's start the show. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Bet on Black, the women, the family, the legacy, brought to you by the 7 Spheres of Money. Thank you for joining us for another powerful and deep conversation with our phenomenal group of ladies here. And before we get started and jump into this very important topic, go ahead and like the video, share, and subscribe. Help us to get to 1,000 subscribers so we can tap into the algorithms and spread this real talk far and wide to the masses. Now, without further ado, let's get into the show. So, welcome, ladies. Welcome, Brooke, Nesha, and Khadirah. How y'all doing?
Fantastic.
Okay, great. Astoria will be joining us a little later in the show, so she'll be here too. But tonight, we're talking about reparations as we're closing out Black History Month. By the time the show comes out, it will either be the last day of Black History Month or the second to the last day. So it's only fitting that we close out with one of the biggest issues that's been, the topic of Black folk for years, decades, reparations.
The beginning.
Since slavery ended, the talk about reparations started, and it's been happening since then.
Yeah.
So to start off this conversation, why don't we begin by talking about why do we still need to talk about reparations in 2022? Why is this important? Or is it important to talk about this, or should we just let it go? So who wants to start?
Go ahead, Liz. Go ahead.
All right, go ahead, bro.
Go ahead.
We're raising her hand.
With the hand up.
Always.
I paused. Y'all could have said something.
Go
I knew
ahead.
the hand was coming.
I'll take it.
Yes, reparations is particularly important to us, for one, because the Japanese and the Jewish and the Palestinians are still receiving their reparations checks, even today. In fact, at the beginning of their term, the Biden administration allocated, and I'm actually going to look it up. I put it to the side, but I forgot to have it ready. So the Biden administration allocated an additional $235 million for Palestinians, $156 million for the Asian Islanders, and $1.2 trillion for now, 1.2 trillion? Trillion.
And that was to who?
Yeah, you were breaking up.
Oh, okay, my bad. Trillion.
For who, though? Who gets the trillion?
The Indians.
Oh, okay.
Back up. Brooke, we can see you fine.
Clarify Indians. Do you mean Indians as Native Americans or East Indians?
The tribal nations.
In Native American? Is that what you mean?
The feathers, not the dots.
Yeah, the Native Americans.
Brooke. Ooh. Oh.
Yes. Native Americans.
Okay. That also would have worked. To say Native American
Also would have worked.
would have been more than
More than enough. More than enough. We thank you for your thorough explanation.
Right. I thought it was because you couldn't hear us, but no, you heard what we
I
said.
clearly said.
You heard what we said.
You said- Wow.
I'm gonna add to that a little
Are
bit,
you?
saying that I mean not that part, but the other original question on why it's necessary for us is because we still haven't have any level of compensation, any level of an actual tangible or sorry made you slaves type of compensation, you know, I think, was it recompense? I don't know what the word, I mean, yeah, that word right there. And especially because we actually get a more negative response whenever we speak about what has happened to us, with the irony being that slavery has always seemed to be a topic in media, in movies, in social media, and just the fact that it happened. But if we have a conversation about the fact that, well, since you brought it up, and we're still dealing with the tyranny of what has happened to us in more ways than one, just because they're not out physically wrangling us together and stamping slave on our forehead doesn't mean that there aren't systems set up that basically are meant for us to go into some type of slave trade. If we just look at the school to prison pipeline and the fact that slavery is legal in jail by the amendment. So the fact that that's all still happening means that I don't care how much is owed to any other nationalities and ethnicities that deserve theirs, they don't want to acknowledge our compensation because it's going to be more than you could ever even get.
Hefty. It's so hefty.
You couldn't even, I mean, first of all, how can you measure something that's still going on? It will be a continuous thing. You will never be able to be done with it. And the real, and this is my opinion, the real compensation, I mean, it's the land that we already owned, that we already had, that we already controlled, that we already had claimed for ourselves, that was stripped of us, stolen from us. But that's what's bigger than trillion? Whatever that would be. Mm-hmm. That's how much it would be. Whatever is bigger than trillion. I don't know if it's quadrillion, I don't know what the number is. But it would be that. That's why I think it's a necessary conversation to have.
I would have to agree wholeheartedly. I feel like just because of the fact that we've never gotten anything, and it just keeps like, it just shows up in so many different ways and shapes or form, just, you know what I mean? Like racism, and like they're still up in arms about affirmative action. Like, good grief, like affirmative, like let's not even, you know what I'm saying? Let's not even touch on like how they feel about affirmative action still, like,
oh yeah.
So how dare we talk about reparations? You know what I'm saying? Like we gave you guys, you know, some slots over here in the schools, and we're making some jobs available for y'all.
You got the projects, you know, y'all all up in there.
Right.
I didn't mean that to be funny.
You know,
but shouldn't you should be satisfied with it. We got you jobs, you got the right to vote. You know, the blacks got the right to vote before the women?
Oh, no, we didn't.
In terms of what was it? No, what was it the women's right to vote? And then
yeah.
It was the women's right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the
So
women.
it's not
Yeah.
even that. And you know, you guys are here, you can get, you know, you can get these jobs, you can get a house, you quote unquote do whatever you want. So why aren't you satisfied with that?
Right. You can.
We're
You
gonna
and your
keep bringing
you
it.
and your husbands and boyfriends can get welfare together now. You don't have to hide the men anymore. Y'all can get benefits together now.
Aren't you good? Aren't you happy?
We
with
holding you down.
We got you. We love you so much. So yeah.
How dare we ask for?
How dare we be ungrateful?
Yeah. Oh, but never forget when it comes to 9/11, they'll
Never forget.
Ooh.
forget. When it comes to the Holocaust, they say never forget. But when it comes to this overdue invoice we got that ain't been paid,
Right.
Forget. Why you not forgetting it?
Amnesia,
Yeah.
dementia, all
What
types
y'all
of.
talking about? We don't know. We're 100 years. We're 500. We're safe from that. I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure that's 2 grandparent generations ago. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. I mean, I remember literally my grandparents talking about how their parents just coming out of slavery, or they were in the what was it called, sharecropping
yep,
era,
yep,
Mhm.
and how that was just basically slavery with more, you know, with a different name.
yep.
My great grandmother was a daughter of a slave. Like,
that is a very common thing to hear.
Yeah.
So it's not that long ago.
not that long ago.
It's not that long ago at all. And it's so disrespectful to act like it is, and then to not acknowledge what happened just right after, because it wasn't like, oh, y'all not slaves no more. Okay, great, you know, let's get a hug and all that stuff. No. It still took decades. It's still, you know, for us to even be able to start doing things and start trying to just be able to, I mean, the mental trauma of somebody telling you were a slave, but now I guess technically you free, but we still don't like you. We still don't. It's not even about like. We absolutely abhor your existence.
Right.
I mean, it's not about like. We absolutely despise the fact that you exist in the capacity that you exist, period.
There you go.
We don't want you here.
Right.
And it's like all, and lots of racists feel that way about us now. Like, because, you know what I mean? Like after the fact, like I know, I have issues of in a heavily populated Asian community. They are not fond of us, especially not a Black woman that has anything to say. They are not here for that. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just from every which way. How would you all be happy with 40 acres and a mule?
Because you ain't get, but you should be happy with the concept.
Understood. But like, would you, you know what I'm saying? Like, but would you be happy with if that's what if that's what we got? Like, what would you be happy with? What would suffice? We said last week, like off camera, we said 40 acres and a tractor. Like, give me that machinery.
Yeah.
Let me put and I'm gonna plow through. But like, what would we really be satisfied with? Like, I can't even, like, I'm open to suggestions.
I don't even know if it's really about satisfaction. Cause I mean, the way I come from, the whole planet was and is ours.
Right.
So I don't know how I feel about somebody giving me a slice of this and tell me that's it. But
right.
I think it's more about what is the total benefit of the collective and what can we get, period, and then what can we do with it? Because when we think of the stories of like Black Wall Street and Tulsa and what's it called? Seneca Village? Central Park, yeah, in New York. When we think of these areas that we built, that we had our own businesses in, that we were running and They said, well, we don't want you here, go do your own thing. So we was like, all right, we're gonna do our own thing. And we did it, and it worked. And they bombed us, and they did everything to destroy us, not just physically, but then destroy us mentally and psychologically from even wanting to try. Even that little that we had, it was extremely impactful to the benefit of us as a collective. And so I don't know if it's about individual satisfaction more than it's about the collective's opportunity to have something of our own and have full reign and control, and be able to not just control the physical aspects of 40 acres of land, but then also start to develop our whole ecosystem. Because land is one part of it. It's the real beginning. Because if you don't really have land, you don't.
What we do, is that what you're saying? Like, it's what we do with the whole Black owned, with like all of everything as a collective.
Yeah, everything as a collective. Like, how do we control the entire ecosystem from the core and then all the way up?
Gotcha.
Because it's not enough to just own, a building or just own one business, and we're all kind of sporadic and all around. If we have it all together and we have the land to be able to have security, like that's the real foundation to it. Then you can build whatever you want on top of that. But then it has to, I think in my mind, it has to all be under a level of unity.
Because everybody's not business savvy. Like, everybody doesn't have that, you know what I mean? The mindset to pull everything together. I saw a meme and it said, the PPP loan showed us what you all would do with reparations. Like, I was hot. Because they took that money and they ran with it. So I definitely can agree with that it would be better off to be like with a collective, because everybody wouldn't know like what to even do if we got some form of, you know what I mean, like monetary, disbursements or whatever, you know what I mean? Like they say they would set aside for us if they were so gracious to actually bestow upon us the sprinklings of whatever it is that they feel we are owed. But
my only push, yes, we are definitely, some of us are going to run through that money.
Oh yeah.
Carelessly spend it. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? That's okay. That's our prerogative. It's our money.
Yeah.
If we want to spend it all, spend it. However, I would like to point out that there are lots of spoiled, rich white kids who have family money, who come from old money.
Mm-hmm.
They frivolously spend their money too. They go out and jump off.
No one says anything.
Bridges. They go jumping out of perfectly good airplanes. Just jumping and
perfectly good.
Wow.
And they recklessly buy cars and wreck the cars. I mean, Hollywood is the perfect example of just do and spend and frivolously do whatever they want with their money. And their parents will fill up their cup again with more money or protect them from harm. So yeah, I mean, yes, it's going to take a while for us to get used to having money. But I think back before we were slaves, we had money.
We were used to having money.
Yeah.
Right.
We probably had so much that we spent it frivolously and we didn't even care. That's why when we get it now, we spend it frivolously. It's in our nature. That's not, don't quote me. That's not like what my actual theory, but I'm just talking junk at this point. Like,
we are kings and queens, in our heritage is royalty. So I think under some way, we are used to having money like that, or you know what I'm saying, that I mean, in our blood is still there.
I can agree with that in the sense that we were the first here. This entire world, this entire earth is ours. It still is, by the way. It just may not seem like it, but it is ours. And therefore, I mean, how much richer can you be if you own the earth? You know, that's pretty much like the top of the top right there. But you know, I still think, I mean, I think it's funny to talk about, like, you know, the PPP showed us, you know, what y'all would really do, and it's a nice joke.
I mean,
You know? But then that also begs the question, because we were just talking about land, and then talking about, you know, actual physical money or some type of monetary, you know, exchange. So then what reparations, what do we really want as reparations? Is it the US dollar or any country's currency? Or is it something more tangible that's not based on a market at all? You know, because currency and the value of currency is the currency exchange market is its own up and down thing.
Right.
You know, I mean, the US dollar is strong today, but, you know, but it gets weaker every single day, especially when inflation by itself makes the dollar weaker, but then you have all these other factors that make it weaker, the debt that the US is never going to be able to pay off to the various countries that it owes. You know, so that's another thing. What's the tangible that we want? I mean, for me, it's always going to be land. The tangible, I think it's the most tangible asset. It's also realistically scarce because you cannot get more earth.
Yeah.
This is it. This is all that you got right here. You can own earth, you can own water rights, you can own air rights, you can own mineral rights, because that's pretty scarce.
Yeah.
And therefore it is the most like, I don't know how to word this, but because it's entirely tied to something that's scarce, you know, like it's always going to be the most valuable.
Yep. It's discontinued. That's what it is. It's like a discontinued product. So, you know what I mean? The value of it goes up. People can't get their hands on it anymore. I'll take land every day.
Yeah.
That's one thing, like in one of my business groups that they preach constantly. Erica Williams constantly, like, land, purchase land.
Yeah.
Land. She's always looking for land lots. You know what I'm saying? So, because it's just, eventually somebody's going to want to build on it. Eventually somebody's going to come knocking for it.
And they ain't got nowhere else to go.
Yeah, exactly.
They want that.
And even if you don't sell it to them, and you could just rent that space out because they need it, they're going to pay a pretty penny for it. You need to get on that there. It's a discontinued product. That's the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
I would take land over the cash. I can get capital. I can figure that out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like capital is not that difficult to raise, even, you know, amongst peers sometimes, depending on if you're starting small. But once you know the right steps, that you can get money. Not gonna be able to get no land. I can get money to get land.
Right.
Still, but so I would take the land every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
You know, something else with the conversation of reparations is like, right now, I mean, everybody theoretically has a choice, right? We all have choices in how we want to live, what we want to do in life, so on and so forth. But when you have such an animosity and such an opponent to our own individual rise, it can seem like, you know, individually it's hard, you know, for us to really make the right choices or even feel like we really have a choice. I think when the collective gets our, you know, reparations in land, let's say that's the hypothetical, I think that's where we have the biggest choice that we can craft, and we can make our own world, society, ecosystem. And then it also gives our own people the choice to be in that or not. Because just because, let's say we did receive reparations in land, and then somehow though, we're all organized, and there's a big chunk of us that decide, okay, we're going to take our, what's the word? Unit of reparations, whatever that is, so many acres and whatnot. And we're going to collectively be in these states. And this is now our world over here, and we completely control it. There's going to be that gives anybody else who doesn't want to be in that the choice to not be in that. And you can choose to be in it or you can choose not to.
Right.
And I think that's a conversation I don't think we talk about enough, because there is going to be a very good portion of us that's going to decide not to. And they're very well going to be in their rights, but then that also means then you're choosing effectively your own destruction if that's what you want to do. You know, that's effectively what you want to do right there.
Essentially.
You know, and so I think that's like a reality most people don't consider. But if we see how much being integrated in a society that doesn't care about us, but white is right, or however you want to think about it, you know, this is the way that we've always been here. It's easier for me to be here. Our family's already been here. You know, they like us. It's going to be fine. Whatever, what have you. That's the easy choice to make, and that's going to cause a lot of divide.
Right.
But then you have to honor the fact that that's their choice, and you didn't. At that point, you cannot say you could not choose better. That's when that level of accountability happens.
Right.
You had the choice. It was over here, and we'll take you back. Hey, we'll take you back, and they'll never take you in. So just choose what you want to go.
It's like
Always think about that.
When they would do the swap meet, when they was getting rid of Tiger Woods and everybody, like, all right, we'll take you back. We would like to nominate
up for the
race
exchange.
Yeah.
Swap.
Yep. That's it.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it would be, to be able to have to get them right on. I feel you.
You know,
Yeah.
you mentioned conversations that we're not having. And historically, we weren't able to have those conversations because when we would meet together, they would lock us in the church and then set the church on fire. Or string.
That laugh.
That's so funny. I'm sorry. Or lynch us. I mean, they did blow up quite a few schools.
I mean, no, that really happened. That's
yeah.
history right there. That really happened. We were bombed,
right,
and set on ablaze.
Get us in groups, kill them all,
and strung and dragged from our homes, and I mean, all the things.
Some of the cruelest of actions, like
the cruelest, because of how you look.
Yeah. But now we're having the conversation in Twitter Spaces.
Yeah, online.
Yeah.
It's making them mad too. More anger.
Making them mad. It is making a lot of people mad.
Yeah. You know something that I think about, because Brooke, when you mentioned the other ethnicities, nationalities, and cultures, cultural groups that got, they really actually, it's written in the budget of a whole country that they get reparations and whatnot. And it made me, as we talk about how, society wants to make us not even consider it, not even make it a factor, have amnesia all about it. And it just begs the question of why? Why others and then why not us? Even if you wanted to insult us with a we're not going to give you 100 trillion, but we'll give you 10 billion or not even an insulting offer. It's just nothing at all. Yeah. And it just begs the question of what's so wrong with that? What's wrong with us? What's the real purpose to not? And when you really consider it, and then it's like, why slavery at all for that long?
Right.
I mean, why even that long of a period? Why even have all the things that happen afterwards? Things that are said. Why effectively write it in the Constitution?
Hello.
Right.
That it's still technically legal in your own country, and then just do the back way of just being able to bring new slaves into this pipeline. Why? What is wrong with us, because there's nothing wrong with us, but what is wrong with us in your eyes that you despise, you abhor our actual existence? Why do you not even want us to consider it? And I always think, I think there was a meme, I don't know if it was a meme or it's just somebody writing on Twitter, whatever, probably both, but just talking about how they would never want us to get so much in power because they think we'll do to them what they did to us, like real retaliation.
Right.
Real retaliation. Because real retaliation, honestly, is just the decimation of your whole race at that point.
Wow.
If we're gonna be very to the point, because that's effectively what you're trying to do with us.
Brooke is a mess.
Brooke is a mess tonight. I'm like, Brooke is in rare form right now, y'all. I need you to know she's not letting the little connectivity
Issues.
stop her.
Not her, no.
She's here. She giving it all. But that's really something to think about, because you don't have this level of animosity that's built into your society. It's not like it's a one-off thing, a couple of people. It's built into the narrative. So it has a foot behind it. And in my opinion, if you must know who we really are to want to strip us of our own knowledge of self so heavily, so purposefully. Look at Brooke.
Yeah, Brooke is crazy.
I mean, the smile's kind of killing me right now.
It's almost sinister.
I mean, it is. It's a little
sinister. It's a little sinister.
It was it was the when she said the feathers and the that. I was like, dang.
Yep. The feathers, not the
Flag.
I don't even.
But you know, that's a real thing, though. That's a real, and it's not something that, you know, obviously doesn't get talked about, but it doesn't get acknowledged enough about the true purpose of our own hatred, so much so that you want us to hate ourselves. Because if we ever came to know who we really are, where we really came from, how we really got here, who really was here. I mean, science all, at this point, all admits that we were the first race. White individuals were the last. Everybody else in between, that, you know, different sections of history and whatnot. But we have the most power. We have the better genes. We have the most brain power. I mean, everything is just better black.
That's why they can't stand us. Because I think just the way, like, they know so many other secrets, they know this about us. What is it? Did somebody see that study about, like, melanin is more, I don't know how true it is, but I could be like, melanin is worth more than gold. And like actual melanin has like a value. I was listening to something, listen to a bunch of different, I'm gonna look it up in a second. Okay. But like, because melanin has a value and worth more than gold, so it's kind of like they know just exactly how valuable we are, or how, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, we're just like, and that's why they don't like it, because we're so much more capable of anything than they ever could possibly fathom.
Yeah.
Can't harness this kind of energy, can't harness this type of intelligence, none of it that we're capable of. And we don't even tap into any of it, really.
We're not even there. We're still not even
like
there.
We're not even scratching the surface
at
on
all
what we have the ability to do. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised by that. There's like 75,000 missing Black girls right now.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You know, so I just wouldn't be surprised if any part of what you just said about that is true and accurate. Yeah, we don't even scratch the surface. Tulsa and Black Wall Street doesn't even scratch the surface, but it's too much for those who really know who we are. It's too much, because they already know if we keep letting them go, they're gonna overrun us faster than we ever overran them. And that's a fear when your entire nation and society is built off the backs of people who don't know who they are. Because the minute they know who they are, they're gonna stop running your society. They're gonna stop being involved at the level that they're involved in. They're gonna come to their own power, and coming to our own power starts with understanding who we are. And so, yeah, I mean, it's a really deep conversation.
It does say something like melanin is like Another positive event started in 2021, off-right. Melanin increased in value to $459 a gram. That means melanin increased in value by $13.96 from the previous year, getting even closer to $500. Gold is currently worth $61.02 a gram, increased only just under $12. I don't know. I have to look more into this article, but from what I'm understanding and everything. But there's like a book called "Is Melanin is Worth More Than Gold?" So I don't know necessarily how like statistically sound this all is.
I'm gonna have to read it anyway.
Something, yeah, right? No, something we gotta
now I gotta read it. Just to get an idea.
Excellent information.
Have y'all seen this? If I can show it on the screen.
Black massacres.
Yeah.
What are are those dates?
Yeah, they're dates. It's a map of where all the different Black massacres have it's like 500 Black massacres.
Charleston, 2015. Happened in 2015. Oh wait, was that
the Tiki Torch people, I think?
Oh, never mind.
I'm trying to see like what's the most recent one.
Yeah, what happened in 2015? I feel like I don't know.
Is that the church in South Carolina where he went down to the church? Where was that? Yeah, in Charleston, that when the boy massacred everybody at the church.
Oh, the church.
And killed all the Black people
Wow.
in the church.
Okay.
2015.
Something suspicious that we in the Secure the Tribe people have found out is that U.S. considers everybody from the Middle East. Yep. So anybody who, all these Palestinians,
Like Europeans?
Israelis, yeah, they're considered white in America's eyes.
I mean, a lot of them. I mean, I'm telling you, as a Muslim, a lot of them consider themselves white from their own eyes. So that doesn't surprise me.
Wow.
Maybe that's why they get to get on the budget.
Right.
Numbers wise, yeah.
Get on the budget.
Right.
That's why they. I mean, there's little Palestine and bigger. I live in Detroit. Dearborn is entirely Arab Muslim country. You know, I think it's the highest of Muslims in the States.
Wow.
Huge.
The Middle Easterners and North Africans. So anybody along North Africa, Egypt, and all that stuff. The US.
We'll be right back with Bet on Black, the women, the family, the legacy. After this message, stay tuned.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is DJ, the Money Coach, coming at you. We're about to head out to Zanzibar. That's right, baby. We're going to Zanzibar, and we're going to be living that pom-pom lifestyle. That's plenty of money and peace of mind. So come join us on the beaches of the world tour. So just to give you a little idea of what it looks like, baby. So we're living a dream, and I'm actually taking my sister with me. All expenses paid by yours truly, DJ the Money Coach. So I hope you can hear me. So remember, all you gotta do is those 4 dirty little words. That's discipline, accountability, plug into the system, the 7 spheres of money, and put your head down and do the work. And you can come join us on the Beach of the World Club. So this is just a tidbit of what we got to offer you. We'll see you on the first leg in Dubai. Peace.
The talk of reparations in and of itself is a very huge conversation, and really, I'm not saying it's not useful, or that it's like a waste of time. I don't think that. I will say that anybody might disagree, and that's fine. I think it's a bad use of time to only spend time on the theorization of it and not trying at all to just do what you can to give it to yourself. Which is, honestly, you can, because reparations involve somebody else repairing, not you repairing yourself or trying to do that. But it's when we get lost in like the conversation, and it's like, you know, we should get this and we should get that. And that is we should be trying to get what we're owed, because why? I mean, this is an invoice I've already put in the work for.
Right.
I may not be able to take it to collections, but I can keep on talking about it. So I'm not going to stop that, you know.
Exactly.
And I think where it loses me is when that's where it ends, just the conversation. And, you know, if we don't get anything, then we're just not going to get, you know, then that's it. But the reality is we still live today. We're still alive today. We're still creating new generations every day.
Right.
And we do have a duty to then do what we can with what we're given.
Yep.
And be able to have the next generation be in a better position than the previous. And sometimes I think we can get so lost in the conversation of reparations that we don't consider the fact that of what I just said. You still got to eat tomorrow, and your next generation has to also eat, you know, when they get here, when they're born.
Mhm.
And so to just stop there and let that be a reason to not do anything at all to build a level of unity, to be able to do something as a collective, that's where the conversation kind of loses me, because it's just not practical. It's like all you do is, it's like if somebody who's religious, all they do is sit and pray, but they don't do anything.
Not taking no action.
I mean, you know, to be honest, you know, if you read the Bible at all, it's prayer without works is dead. So you got to do something.
You gotta do something.
You gotta take some kind of action. I mean, it's a very overused term right now, but like breaking, you know what I mean? Breaking generational curses,
Mhm.
you know, creating generational wealth. And I say it just sounds overused and cliche because that's what everybody's selling right now. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as like,
Courses and whatnot.
courses and whatnot. And I'm on the bandwagon too. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't even ebooks or whatever. Like I'm there. It's definitely something because it's a passive income, and it's, you know what I mean? Like it's the digital real estate that they're talking about now, like, you know, creating the mark. So it's definitely our responsibility to get on board in some way, shape, or form, whether it's investing, whether it's building the businesses, in some way, like, you know, investing, and it doesn't just have to be like stocks and all that other kind of stuff. There's so many different ways to invest. I keep telling people, like, you know, a lot of people, like, they don't want to be an entrepreneur. I'm like, I don't want you to be an entrepreneur. Just own something. I can't remember who said it, but somebody one day was like, when you think about the members of your family that are doing all right, that are good, they own something. Like either they own a house, a building, a business, they're a part of some kind of venture. Like anybody in your house, like, you know what I mean? For the, like, when you think about your aunts and uncles and your cousins and them who are good, they got a rental property.
They always do have
something. They got a vending machine popping or something, or they got in on a deal. They was smart about Bitcoin in 2017, 2015. I don't care when it started. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they own something. And it's like, and you really won't have anything until, like, what, you know, like the wealth is in ownership. And it's like you know, you won't, some other quotes, I hear things all the time. It's like, you know, you're not quote unquote a man or a woman until you own the floors you walk on. Like you gotta, you know what I mean? Like it's not, but like just to go the extra, you know what I mean? The extra miles to say, like, you have to own it. Like you have to be able to have some of this stuff in order to break the again with the land and stuff like that. But like when you think about the people that are okay, they have something. They have something that they are eating off of.
You know what's funny? And we really should have a whole show just talking about, like, what does it really mean to have generational wealth? Because I think that would be a very interesting conversation.
Right.
Because it's funny that you said that about, like, if, you know, you're not a man or a woman until you own the floors you walk on or something. I mean, I think it was actually like a law. If you didn't own land, they couldn't vote or something, or like they they couldn't,
Wow.
I don't know if it was, I gotta look it up, but I could have sworn it was like actually a law at some point that if you didn't own land, you couldn't vote. And maybe if it wasn't like a legal law or if it was like a cultural law,
Okay.
your
Still.
Yeah.
opinion wasn't considered unless you had
Wow.
land.
Land. Yeah.
And if if you consider the fact that having ownership over something makes you think differently about everything when it comes to that.
Mhm.
Like I mean, you could think of it on a small level. I live in an apartment now, and I moved out like 2 years ago, 3 years. What's 2022? 2 years ago. And so obviously living, with my parents, I don't really care what's going on there.
But now,
I mean, I don't care if it's a little bit of a mess over there. I don't care about my room like that. I'm just a child. I'm in a child's place. The funniest thing, my dad started coming here, and he was like, "Wow, you keep this place spotless."
Yeah.
That I never did when I was home. I just
it's
didn't.
yours. It's a different, yeah.
It's a different thing. It's like, wow, you got everything, the heat running and everything. I'm like, it looks nice. Stuff is in order. Yeah, because
Smells good here. Like, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it looks great. You got it decorated. I'm like, yeah, because it's mine. That's what you always think differently about something when you actually own it.
When it's yours.
That's why I wouldn't be surprised if that was actually a law. If I can try to find it, I'll see if that was just a meme or something. Because
it was definitely a law. It was definitely a law. Or it was either a legal law or a cultural law. But there was a time where you couldn't vote unless you owned something.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm seeing some evidence in this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll try to copy and paste the ones if I can verify it. I don't want to spread no rumors.
That's why.
I mean, it's seriously. That's I'm sorry, what you saying, Nesha?
No, that's why I was saying with the book. You know what I mean? Like with melanin having a worth. I don't really know necessarily if that. You know what I mean? Like if there's truth to it, but it just hit.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing when you own something, and I know we're talking about reparations, but man, if we really talk about what real generational wealth looks like and what it is and how it's more than just money in the bank, and honestly, if all you have money in the bank, then you're not as wealthy as you think you are, or wealthy as social media will have you thinking that you are, because the showboating and the facade of it all will have you thinking that's all you need. You don't understand how that's just another trap. If you think that's all that you need to have, and it just all circles back to not just land, but ownership. And then how you can have that without necessarily being an entrepreneur, without having to own a business. Now, while owning a business is going to be the more popular way, and to some people's eyes, it's the best way because it's a cash flowing mechanism that allows you to then purchase real generational wealth. There she go, and there she is. It's Astoria.
Hello.
I can't see the or wait, never mind.
Can you see her? She here.
I couldn't see you.
Hey, y'all, hey.
Hey. Yo, what is wrong with her?
Cause I'm like an hour and 25 minutes late.
You made it.
Right on time.
You made it.
It's all good.
You made it.
We're happy
Continue
that
the conversation. I'm just gonna jump in wherever y'all. I don't know what y'all doing.
Okay. When I was we were just kind of honestly, we kind of went into a side quest of talking about generational wealth, and what it really looks like. Kind of talking about reparations in the middle of that too. It's related. It's related.
Okay.
But really just like how I was just saying how generational wealth is more than just the money, that you may have in a bank account. And if all you think that you need is just the money, then you don't really have wealth. You just have riches. And riches can die the quickest, depending on how you're spending that. And then how we can reach generational wealth without necessarily having to do the business route. Because a lot of people, I think more Black people than they think are capable of running a business and being an entrepreneur. But I don't think at all it's the majority of people who are really capable. And I don't even mean like they could or they couldn't, like capable, you know. And if it makes sense, it's not even being rude. Like it's a lot of work. It's a lot of mental work. It's a lot of emotional work. It's a lot of stress. It's a lot of, I mean, I couldn't imagine doing anything else, but me very much valuing stability is just like continuously clashing with my very nature. But now I already know how to make money, so it's like, I mean, like, what is it called? You're unemployable. I'm at that point.
Overqualified?
Both
Overqualified?
Both.
Yeah, there you go. Both of them.
Both of them.
They both ain't gonna make me work, because I'm just gonna start thinking about how I could do this so much better, and then I'm gonna go do it while I'm working for you.
Yeah,
because that's what I did at my last job I had.
Isn't that what we do at all of our jobs though? Like,
that's true. That's true. If you're really in this to win this,
the majority of us that are not I don't want to say entrepreneurs, but have that entrepreneurial spirit, whether it's a side hustle or whatever. We working on our side hustle, even at our 9 to 5. So
y'all seen that that TikTok, like I'm in here still in company time or something? Y'all seen that one? Y'all ain't on TikTok like that?
I am, but I haven't lately. I was going to New York. I've been busy. Like I have not.
Okay. If I find it, I'm gonna try to send it to y'all. I'm not in the Telegram. I'm gonna try to send it to y'all because that gets me every time.
Listen, I tried to set the Telegram up for us. I don't know why I didn't act right, and I'm over it. So, I mean,
what happened? What? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. What you said?
I said I tried to set the Telegram up with our numbers and stuff, but it wasn't cooperating, and so I just was like, I'm over it.
Oh,
sorry.
It's cool.
It's okay.
We can just, I mean, we've communicated perfectly fine without it. So I feel like.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
There we go.
Yeah. Obviously. But
Telegram.
Huh?
Wasn't having it.
Well, what's been happening?
Reparations. We've been talking about reparations.
So we want my comment on reparations. I feel like I didn't get none of y'all information. I had to go back and watch the video from the beginning, but I can give my opinion, I guess.
Okay.
Give your opinion anyway, if you have one. We would love to hear.
Yeah, well.
I think that reparations is more than what we think reparations is. I don't think it's the 40 acres and the mule, and I don't think that's what we're gonna get or anything like that by any means. But I did watch it might have been a TikTok or a reel or something. I follow radical people. Anywho, the video was this pastor preaching to his congregation, and he was talking about how you do the same thing. Like, you keep asking us why we ain't, one leg up, or why we not going out there to get it on our own. Well, you give somebody, this and this and this and this, and you suppress somebody and tell them they got to be enslaved, and then you tell them they got to do this and they got to do this, and you wonder why we ain't caught up with you yet. You had a 50-year head start. We just trying to make it. I think that puts some things into perspective. Like, we're not gonna get reparations in the sense that we think, but we can learn and try to, maneuver this society to get the things that we need to get. For instance, when we talk about, creating wealth, or we talk about like us being financially secure, we've all worked with DJ. You already know, like, we can get the things. We ain't got to go that way to get the things. We could live the life we want to live, you know. It just ain't gonna look like them the way they give it to you. You just gotta figure out what's the loopholes. I hate to say it this way. You gotta trump that thing. Figure out the loopholes, the tax credits, all the laws that help you do what you do. Period. Because it's not made for individual people. It's made for businesses. So once you start operating yourself as a business and you understand that you are the business, you can kind of get all the things that you want anyway. You just gotta know how to do it. So that's my feel.
That's a good spiel. And there are, so the reparations, the California reparations is meeting right now, and they're discussing the eligibility. And so I'm curious, why do you think that, seeing as though the Japanese and the Jewish get payments from the United States, why do you think that we won't get reparations, or that it won't be a cash thing?
I'll say it this way. Same thing that happened with Native Americans, and I'm grouping everybody together. I'm not saying Cherokee or whoever, Native American in general. The dark Native Americans didn't get none of that money. Like, real talk. The brown ones, they didn't get none of that money. But the ones that are and that claim themselves now to be Native American, they got lots of reparations. Right? They got lots of stuff. Land.
Didn't they though?
You know, I mean, and this is stuff you can like look up. You don't even have to, you could like do a Google search to say that they won the lawsuit, whatever. They said they were going to get this money and they gave it to the tribal chiefs. And they supposedly said that only these people can get these certain things. No, it was just brown, like dark-skinned Native Americans were not able to get any of those things. So that's why I say that. I'm not going to say that we won't get something, right? But I don't think everybody is going to receive reparations. Is what you're going to classify yourself as, and they're going to make it some kind of way where certain people ain't going to get stuff. The people that really get it, probably not going to get it. Not at all. Not even close. But it sounds good, though. It sounds real good.
It do.
Now, you said you didn't think we were going to get it in the way that we think. Do you have like a, I mean, it's all a guess at this point. Like, do you have an idea of what you think it might be, or you just know it's just not going to look like what we've been talking about?
I just know it's not going to be like, I don't have an idea, real talk. But I mean, I kind of and I kind of don't, in a sense. Y'all know I'm into like crypto and, you know, all that, all of the things. And today, of all days, while we talking about this, I found out some new information. I can't share it with the thing right now because whatever, but just know that I found some new information.
Yeah.
And once I finish my research, I'm going to let you know what I think it's going to really, really look like. But the way that the financial system is right now, we're not going to get what we think we're going to get, because this system has to crumble. I hate to say it, but it has to crumble and start over for it to, or it has to be absorbed some type of way, or else it's going to be like this combustion of things. Just because it's like so much debt and so much stuff, like they can't pay the debt they got. So how they going to pay you?
Yeah.
What make you important? And then what's to say that they give you something and don't tax you heavily on it, or say, well, because we gave you this, you got to pay this, and that, da, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Give up these things. So I just
it's always a trick behind it. It's never a gift. At least with us, it's never a gift.
No,
Never.
I think that's actually a really, really good point, because a lot of us do think it's just gonna be this, you know, this gift or whatever, whether it's money, whether it's land, whether it's some other thing. It's never a gift. How can you ask somebody who has wanted you to consider them your master, your owner, then now tell you, the ownee, you know, the former enslaved, that you now get this gift? It's always gonna be a backhand somewhere. You know, and it's just, I mean, we can't fathom the depths of Satan. I mean, that's just not, you know, you can't fathom how how far they're going to want to go to trick you, to make you think a certain way about something while still having some level of control over you. You know, it's not a, what do they call it? A free lunch? There's never a free lunch. It's always going to get paid in some type of way. That's very, very true.
Speaking of free lunch, right now, there are like across the America that are giving out universal basic income payments.
Mm.
And the due date for a lot of them is this week. So I highly encourage you. Let me see if I
Wait, is that
tab open.
in the States or is that outside the country, like in other countries?
No.
That are...
Inside the United States.
Really?
They're testing out universal basic income. And there are
Drop
different.
that information in the
Yeah,
chat.
drop the link, Brooke.
Don't hold out on people.
Because I thought I heard that was being tested in California somewhere. In what's the? It's so many very known.
Let me see.
Okay, so there is a mayor in California who was brought here.
The Black Lives Matter, not more. I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off.
Okay, so there's the mayor of Long Beach, California. He was brought here when he was 5. So he was brought here by an undocumented immigrant. So he fought for undocumented immigrants, and he plans to give $1,000 a month of universal basic income to undocumented immigrants. He wants to take the taxpayer dollars. So that's basically our money, because we're the only real people who actually pay taxes. So he's taking the Black people's money and giving it to illegal immigrants, and then turn around and saying, y'all don't need reparations.
A few states. It looks like a few states that are like doing it. Louisiana is giving teens $350. Friggin' Jersey is giving 400 families in Newark payments totaling $12,000 for over 2 years.
Chicago,
Alaska. Wow. Alaska has been issuing payments to its inhabitants under the Alaska Permanent Fund for some time.
Wow. A while now.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm just looking at the Alaska one. Wow, 1982 for Alaska.
See? Now, okay, you see that? And so if they've been given $1,000 a month for no extra hoops, no reports, $1,000 a month. Now, what are your thoughts on reparations?
We'll be right back with Bet on Black, the women, the family, the legacy. After this message, stay tuned.
Hi, my name is Tara. I just want to thank DJ for creating a financial plan for me. DJ showed me how to look for insurance policies with low premiums. He also explained to me how I could save several $1,000s by getting into a lower mortgage term. Thanks again, DJ.
Hi everybody, my name is Altavis F. Cleary. I am a notary and loan signing agent. I'm currently working with DJ the Money Coach on setting up my financial business strategies for my business operations. So far, DJ's been great. He gives great advice, and I'm looking forward to continue to work with his team and making sure that we set me up for the near future. Thanks again, DJ.
If there is a facade that's given out that says, stamp reparations, I still think there's going to be like some back end to it, because there's a difference, in my opinion, when you say it's a whole city And maybe it says low income individuals and women. But see, there's always a way to determine what is low income. Because I'm reading some of these and they said like, oh, it's specifically going to women, specifically going to low income. That's why I said that.
You're right.
There's a particular, I mean, I gotta imagine there's some type of, like, I don't know what the word's criteria, that's what I mean. Criteria. What is the definition of low income in what zip code? Because I don't know that if this is like really the whole city or even the whole state in Alaska's case, but is there a specific zip code threshold, you know, like involved in that?
But we still have the debt that we can't pay on with China, right?
That is
So
true.
we still making payments to the Japanese and the Jewish. They getting paid. So
Yeah.
they can put some on it.
I think even Germany pays Jew pays.
Oh yeah. I'm pretty sure they're still
They're
paying.
still paying reparations for the Holocaust.
There are 3 different countries who send reparations to the Jews.
That's why the Jews own everything.
Boom.
I didn't say that out loud.
Flag number 3. This video is coming down.
Yeah.
It started with
3?
Brooke.
You said that was number 3?
That's number 3.
What was number 2?
That's number 3.
What was number 1 and number
Brooke
2?
was with the feathers.
Number 1. Number
That
1.
was
That's
number
why I
1.
started laughing when you started talking about the natives, because when
Yeah.
Brooke needed to
Brooke gave it
differentiate,
to us.
she said she was talking about the feathers and not the dots, is what she informed us.
But we have to say that in Texas because we have feathers and dots. So that is our way. We differentiate.
Oh, with the Texas thing.
Wow.
I ain't heard it nowhere else. I ain't never heard it nowhere else.
Is there a reason though? We can't just say native and East.
We don't say from Texas. We don't say Southeast Asian. We don't be knowing.
That's real smart. That's the smart. Like we don't.
Native Americans?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the northern thing.
Yeah.
Because I definitely say Native American.
Yeah, I definitely say native and Eastern because they usually look different.
They do.
Like I can pretty much tell.
I gotta mute for a second because I hear these kids about to come in the house and they're gonna talk to me and whatnot. So
Tell them to have a get together. That's what that's what my friend. She's like, oh, I gotta have a get together.
So two things about this whole reparation thing, right?
Yeah.
Well, first, they really did give you reparations. They did give you a family reparations. They gave it through farming and land, right? Let me get there. But they also decided that you couldn't they gave all the white farmers all the extra money that they needed, all the loans, all the whatever for them to keep going. This has been documented information like everywhere. But if you think about like Black farmers are people that, used to be the sharecropper. I'm not saying everybody got something, right? But let's say these people that got these certain things, right, their reparations, they made it harder for you to even keep up with that because, like Black farmers, they make it hard for you to get the loans to do what you need to do, right, over time. They don't allow you to be exempt for certain things. Like they just put all these regulations on things. So if we look at it from that aspect, they're going to give, like you said earlier, they're going to give you something, but they're going to take it back.
It's a Trojan horse.
So it's not even a give.
Yeah, it's a Trojan. It's a Trojan horse.
It's only 1.4% Black-owned farms today. And here's just another piece of information. Like, just put this out here for you. I was doing a lot of research when I was thinking about land that I wanted to, acquire and things that I wanted to do, just generally, right? Mm-hmm. In the state of Mississippi, and I can only speak for Mississippi, there's at least 2 or 3 farmers that are not our color that are paid not to farm on their land. And the reason why is so they can continue the inflation of fruits and vegetables, and they can continue to monetize the way they want the money to go. So when they say it's a shortage of stuff, like for example, Super Bowl just happened. They always be like, "What's a shortage of chicken wings? It's a shortage of chicken wings because it's Super Bowl." guaranteed in 3 months. Ain't gonna be no shortage. So all of a sudden, chickens just started mass producing in the springtime, and they wasn't producing all year. Like they was only producing eggs, and they didn't know to make the chicken. Or
Well, we don't want to eat those.
huh?
We didn't want to eat those chickens. They sick anyway.
But we take the eggs though.
Either way, right. So you see what I'm saying? Like, so there's these
That's
things
very true.
that
I've heard about that for a while. That getting paid not to farm.
Yeah, not to farm. They get paid.
Not to farm.
Like they pay them from our tax money. The government pays them not to farm.
Yeah.
So if we know that that's happening in one state, how many other states is this happening in, right? How many other rural areas or whatever? Because the United States is big. There's like land everywhere for you to do something.
Everywhere.
Does everything grow everywhere? Not necessarily, but
In a lot of places you can grow something. It's always a back end.
there's always a back end, right? So that's, part of it. And then just to go back to you talking about countries paying out people to do whatever, let's talk about the fact that Haiti's still paying for their damn freedom. Why we got to pay y'all back to something that y'all took away from us? Like, why do we have to pay you monthly? Yeah, it's Googleable information. You can Google it. After the French, like whatever they're paying, whatever the little thing, however it happened, they literally. That's why I say poor. That's why it's such a poor country, because they literally have to pay back
For their freedom.
Basically.
That's wild.
They're really free. No.
So you still slaves.
It's on loan. Like our freedom is on loan.
Yeah, it's a
What
loan.
happens if I don't pay? Like, what if we don't
We gonna
make
loan
good
you your
payment one
freedom.
day? Lose my freedom. That's messed up.
Yeah.
They basically was like, basically they're saying, well, we're going to miss out on these millions of whatever dollars because we technically were making this type of money. So now you have to pay us a dowry for whatever's happening. Like, this is searchable, Googleable information. This ain't even nothing that I had to I ain't deep dive into nothing. You could just Google it. It says, this is what they had to pay basically to be free. And which is why people are like, well, why is Haiti such a poor country? Because they ain't got no money, because they paying to be free. They
still playing on it. I knew that they had paid. I thought that they were done. I
don't know. Did they finally get done? From my understanding, I ain't know if they were done or not.
I mean, I'm not. You know what I'm saying?
Let's fact check it. Basically, they forgave some of it. Like I guess the World Bank decided to forgive some of it, but they still have a balance of $77 million.
Been paying on it since forever. They've been free.
I know
We
that.
can just think about the fact that they owe anything.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, you enslaved us, and we're paying you for the loss of your slave labor. That's effectively what's happening. I gotta pay you to be free, something I'm already owed that. You made me a slave, but because we fought for our freedom, now you're like, well, now I ain't got no money. So you got to pay us the money. And then the fact that it's enforceable, that's something that's kind of crazy to me.
Yeah.
But I assume it's because of you can't go to war with France type of situation. I assume that's the reason why you could even enforce that, because you can only enforce that if you have military backing, I would assume. If I can enforce a debt on you, I probably have the ability to come at some point, even if it takes a minute.
If you're across the water, I wouldn't have paid it.
Right.
So
like the last time they probably paid was 2010 because of that earthquake that happened, and they said that they forgave a lot of it, but they still owe like $77 million. But that just means they're not gonna get. So even if they don't pay it, all that means is like the World Bank, or like, let's say something like when stuff happens in Haiti. This is why you see people trying to raise money for them, because they're just gonna not send aid. They're not gonna help them. That's what that means. Oh, you don't want to pay us? No problem. We just ain't gonna send y'all no help. That's how that works.
Oh, die. I mean, it's kind of like that. Just die. If we can't get your money, you gotta go. You gotta go.
Yeah. So,
Mm.
and how many other countries might be doing the same thing? We don't necessarily know. We know that about Haiti because people have, voiced it and talked about it. And that's just part of like, do we all know like our real history? Just like, the whole Black farmers thing. Like not everybody knows that it's only
Yeah.
percentage of Black farmers. And at one point, it was a way higher percentage. There was more Black farmers than there were white farmers at one time because white people wasn't they doing their land anyway. They had paying us to do. Sorry, they were not paying.
It's not true though.
They
That
were
was
not
the
paying
point.
us to do it.
Even now, when I read an article, I can tell it's about a white farmer or Black farmer. I mean, besides the fact that there's usually pictures, but when you read about the white farmer, things like, oh, we discovered that you have to let the soil rest. Oh, it turns out you can use one side of the soil at a time and then switch and use the other side. And we call it sustainable farming. Yay! Look at this new thing we found out. And I'm going to be like,
We've been doing it. You know what's the crazy part? Because we've been talking about land a lot during the show, is how the narrative of farming in the Black community is flipped, and how it's used against us as like another means of just psychologically not allowing us to really be able to build our own communities. Because the first thing you suggest anything agricultural wise, oh, I ain't doing that slave stuff. That's the first thing we think of.
it is.
I ain't doing that slave stuff. I remember I was in St. Louis and I was talking to there was a brother, he had this group, and we're all just talking about, ways to build wealth and whatnot. And he actually went, and I don't know if he ended up doing this for real, but he actually found a cotton farm. They actually grew cotton. And he came when we had this group thing, and he came and he brought a cotton seed, and he's like, this is actually it. And the amount of like animosity, which is understandable.
Mm-hmm.
But if we just consider the fact that that is how things get made, I mean, it's not like we don't wear cotton.
Right.
We do. But if we even think how the psychological torture that we went through now is attributed to anything that has to do with growing and creating something on our own, especially in land, especially anything to do with cotton and sugarcane and, just any of that. Now that stops us as a people psychologically from even want to consider it, because don't nobody want to do that slave stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Always a backhand. Even sharecropping is always a backhand.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this. I can only speak for how our generation is, right? I feel like a lot of us are getting back to that now, like in that middle era, like after the baby boomers into the middle. Like I don't want to do none of that because that reminds me of that. I would say that some of us have done the work of healing and understand, like, nah, it ain't really about is it a slave thing. It's more of this is healthier. Them mother effers trying to kill us with these GMO
everything, yeah.
Whatever this other stuff is. And so I'm gonna say more and more of us are getting into
I agree.
Trying to do better, right?
Yeah.
Looking at it in that aspect. Now, are people always gonna look at it like that? Yeah, but
I do think we are, because that whole kind of going back to nature and we're really like in the millennial generation Z, mix that we're in right now, we're very much more like, we're not doing our old way. We want to do it our way, get back to nature, get back to how we used to do things. That's why I think that's why the whole concept of like not necessarily joining an organized religion by name, but just being spiritual, and however you want to identify that, and however you want to pursue that is up to you. But it's all kind of a search of coming back to self, and it's a rejection of how things were done by Generation X, I think, and the last of the baby boomers. Because, you know, we see what y'all did and don't look no better than anything that you're doing right now. You don't look that better than what I could do anyway. So I might as well.
I ain't marching no more.
What you say?
I ain't marching no more.
Yeah, no, that's a huge thing. And that, I think that caused an interesting debate when that was real big. The whole not marching, the protesting. I mean, that's my thing. Either we talking about owning it or it's not a conversation. You know, that's actually a real generation difference. Which is great.
They're like, why are you burning the business down? Because, you know, like, you know, the business is really important. Nah, that business got insurance. Let's burn this shit down to the ground. They burn that stuff down too. They can start over. They got some insurance.
I mean, fortunately, unfortunately, however you want to think that.
No. I said I shouldn't say it like that, but I'm just.
But that's the thinking, though. Yeah. That's the thing. We have a very fearless generation. That's just not we don't care, especially if we consider that we don't think we have anything to lose. See, that's the thing. It's the recognition of, well, I don't have anything to lose. My parents' life don't look no better. Yeah. Like my parents' life.
Wait. Let's wait. Huh. That's where I said I'm more like one of those like wait, guys, wait.
Hold on.
Let's think about it.
Wait, guys. Hold on, guys.
Right.
And we be like, no,
wait, please.
And we like, what we waiting for? Why we waiting?
Waiting for what?
Unless you're we're going right now, guys. Right.
But we really like that though. Cause what's the point? If I don't think if my life can be any better than my parents or my grandparents, why would I keep doing what they're doing? I might as well just do what I want to do.
You might as well.
We ain't got nothing to lose if we don't have anything anyway.
Yep.
That's the mindset. I mean, it's not crazy to think about either. Why follow the same? I mean, ooh. Well, hold on.
I mean, and I've just said it to you all the past weeks. There's so many different things that I wish, you know what I mean, like between our age gap and whatnot, where I'm like, damn, the courage, like to leave jobs. We've talked about that over the last.
Oh, yeah, we leave a job.
You know what I'm saying, like,
I don't like the way you
like,
texted me.
You need to know I'm working on a cover letter and of my resume, that archaic looking thing. I was like, but it's a job that's posted. Somebody sent me something for yesterday, like the other day, and it closes tomorrow. I was up here like, I was working it so I could listen. I got to be out. I was like, now the girls that said, listen, now you done gave these people too many years, so I'm, you know what I mean? I'm looking at my only thing is that I'm trying to stay within the same, like, whatever, but like, not to get into that. But my whole point is the same pension. But I'm just saying that, like, because I don't want to stray too far off, but listening to you all, there's like a lot of things where you all are fearless. I don't even know, like, to put it in quotes, because in a sense you are legit fearless. It's like whatever the repercussions are, you can bounce back. And I'm starting to learn that in business, because like now I said it and I felt like I sounded cocky the other day, but I was like, yo, I could lose it all and I could do it all over again. Somebody was like, what? I was like, I could lose all this and I could do it. I'll bring the beat back. Give me another year and a half. I'll bring the beat back. And that's it. Yo, Brooke is on 1, 2.
Brooke is on it today. But I don't know what's up.
I definitely feel like I could lose it all and bring the beat back. Like I got the recipe now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that.
So it's interesting that you say that, and then that Khadirah said, you know, like our generation don't be caring. So I saw this tweet or whatever message on Instagram, and I said, let me find it real quick because it was funny. It was like, I saw this TikTok about this guy complaining about how unprofessional this new generation is with resigning from jobs. He said the last employee quit by sending a text saying, "It's giving shackled. I quit." And he said,
accurate.
I'm telling you, Gen Z is not here to play with these employers. And I feel like this is true. Like they were
not here.
Oh,
giving shackled.
Let me tell y'all, if you really want to see, I mean, if anybody's watching this, questions the validity of that text, I really invite you to go to Reddit, and it's called Anti-Work. and it's a subreddit. And I love to look at it because it's real life screenshot text of people quitting via text on a regular base, like in real life, verifiable. Quitting via email, not a 2-week notice in sight. I'm just gone. I didn't like how you talked to me, so I'm leaving.
Here's the thing. You don't need a 2-week notice no more because honestly, they don't give you 2-week notice on somebody about to fire you.
You don't at
You
all.
already got somebody in your place. You are
that you train.
You are replaceable. That's what you need to remember.
Yeah.
And he got it. They like, oh, I'm replaceable. No problem. It's given.
Got it. So you're gonna be straight then. Then that means I can just skedaddle. You know, we could just go. Yeah. And you know the thing about it is, whether you want to call it fearlessness or, you know, lack of wisdom and utter stupidity, it doesn't really matter. Because first of all, we're younger anyway, so we're not supposed to know everything. That's number one. Number two, you hurting more than me because I'm already hurting working the job anyway that's underemployed, not at the rate of inflation. It's basically a lose anyway.
Right.
That's the thing. There is no real benefit unless you're
unless you got a pension like Nesha.
Unless you got a pension. Oh, that's the thing. We all know.
I'm like the last of the Mohicans with that. Yeah.
No, you are.
Yeah.
I said the same thing to my mother. I mean, I told my mother, I was like, you should learn different skills. And she has. I bought her courses and stuff on skill sets just in case. But I'm also like, you the last person that's gonna have a pension. I'm not, even if I work the job, it's no retirement for us. That's the thing. We know that instinctively, even if we don't know the actual numbers. There is no actual retirement. There is no Social Security. Social Security is supposed to run out in like, I mean, it's actually it's an actual date when it's not supposed to. It's just not going to be there. And I think with the pandemic, it was quickened up by at least a year.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know, if not more by now. And you look at inflation, and they say it's only 7.5%. I'm sorry. I cook, and I buy all my own groceries.
It's like 9%. It's like 9%.
That full bill.
Who is they fooling?
Is looking real expensive.
Actually, you know, after this whole Russia incident, it's gonna be even more. So just prepared.
I fully believe it.
Now let me say this. Me and you, Brooke, we good, girl. We live in Texas, so our stuff don't really fluctuate with everybody else's stuff because you know we got our systems and stuff, and so we be doing. But the north of y'all that get the gas from them other places, girl, y'all gas about to be so high.
That's crazy.
I think I just passed the gas station. It's like $3.99.
Oh no, I'm not there yet. But I was like, I was mad because it jumped from like $3.40 to $3.66 or something like that.
I remember I went
at
to
$3.19. We still at $3.19.
Oh, that's nice. Must be nice. I'm trying to get like you, my boy.
That's something.
Yeah, I went to shopping at Kroger, and I'm looking at my basket. You know when you just you know like, oh, how much is about to be? Okay, it's about to be like $20, $30, whatever it is. It rang up. It was like 40, 50. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? This is the same stuff I bought maybe a couple weeks ago. I know a cart when I see it. This is not no $40, $50.
Well, I mean, they even said that on the news and stuff. Like the price of oil, like you used to buy a good gallon of oil, it was like $4 something, $3 something. It's like $2 and something now. Like it's like and it went up overnight, like overnight. Like they've been talking about it on the news, like how much inflation has raised over just a few weeks or so.
I mean, it's insane how more expensive everything is, and therefore the logical thing is for jobs to increase in the pay rate, but that's not gonna happen.
I don't know.
You know. Oh, and you know another thing with this is when people in our generation see the jobs be posted for higher than what they are currently getting paid for, they just quit off of that.
Yeah.
How is this 25%, whatever percent more than what I'm getting paid? And I'm already here. That's actually something I don't really understand. I would love to actually figure that, get an answer for that. Because it's harder. I mean, it's the same way that it's more expensive to get like a new customer. It's more expensive. It takes longer to get a new employee. Find them, vet them, interview, go through probation, then train them, get them all onboarded.
Yep.
I mean, it's expensive because it takes time and now money.
Right.
I never really understood why you wouldn't just, I mean, if you're already intending to spend more on a new role, new person in the same role, why would you not just pay more the person who's already there? That's something I never really understood.
It's too much like right. That's why.
That part.
It's too, it's too logical. It's too rational.
Too logical.
Way too much like right.
Too logical.
I mean, I would really like a corporate person who, like, you know, is inside of the HR. I really should just ask my aunt, to be honest, because she's in HR. I really want to know, is it really that, or is there some formula? Something that says, okay, we give one person more money, everybody gonna want more money. I mean, if you're already off in the job,
Raise the max.
Huh?
No, go ahead.
Okay. I saw a interview with Toni Morrison saying to a white reporter guy, I think like maybe Dan Rather. It was an old interview. And what are white people? Are they not still smart? Are they not still capable? Are they not still humans? What are they without race? And as it just makes you think, because then to classify the Middle East as white and be okay with giving them, knowing that we did not want to come to this country, what's one of the first things that they love to say? Go back to Africa. We didn't come here.
this ain't a vacation.
Goes back to what I told you. Some of us was already here, baby. Pangea did exist. We was already here. We all didn't come over on a damn boat. So pump your brakes. Stop creating.
See?
That's like stepping in my home and telling me to go home.
Right.
I was already here. It's just like you said Christopher Columbus discovered America. Well, how he discovered something that people already there? I'm confused.
How'd that happen?
But the people was already there. But
literally,
Brooke
they showed you around.
Brooke said, I gotta get up. I can't.
They taught you how to be here.
Right.
Just say you was the first white person, maybe, or something. The first of your family, maybe that. Be
But
more
don't say you
accurate.
discovered it.
You know, but you know, always discovering something.
Before we started the show, I was explaining what is a ADOS. Do you know ADOS? So ADOS is American Descendant of Slaves.
Okay.
You heard the term FBA or freedmen?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, we were just talking about how there were already some people here. Boo.
I mean, here's the thing. It logically doesn't make sense when they say the amount of people that were brought over here in boats, but over half of them either jumped or died. Like, how logically does that make sense that you... So we had to go back how many times, and it's taken how many times on how many boats, but you can only find this certain amount of boats, and this is the record of what you have, but you said that it was this many people, but it really wasn't them. We was already here. I'm sorry. Like, I know y'all wasn't keeping accurate books like y'all say y'all was keeping accurate books, or maybe they got lost, just like books of the Bible got lost, whatever. You know, create your own narrative. But the point is all of the brown skinned people, whether they are Native American or not, were already here. It's just you decided to classify us a certain way because of characteristics or traits that we had. So basically, they was like, all these people that live over here in the Dakotas, and those are the only Native Americans. So they're the only ones that really exist. These are the natives. These people, right? So the people that were in other parts of countries technically didn't exist because that's not we can't classify this space. And then to allow light-skinned, fair-skinned, pale white people to marry these people or take their whatever, their claim and stake and say, oh, I'm now Native American, right? I'm Native American, right? No, you really black. That's what you really is.
Black.
Blackity black, right? But it's the fight or flight mode that they're in, right? Like they're decreasing in number, right? We're increasing in number.
Yep.
They have strategically taught us to stay away from each or not bond with each other. When if all the Hispanic people, if anybody that has some brown skin tone to them would just not be a crab in a bucket and begin to organize and work together,
you're done.
Others.
And right? That's already happening. Anyways, in their own destruction. It's already happening. I mean, y'all the one that said the one draft rule. And black people be real about that. You got one draft, you be like, that's it. I don't care what side of the family it is. That's who you are. And so, yeah. Because when you said that they categorize people in the Middle East as white, I'm like, that makes sense. Because you have to try to increase your number somehow to make it seem like you're the more dominant.
Still like you're
so
the more dominant.
Saying, yeah, so you can keep saying that you're the majority, which I always hate hearing. The minority is a majority, because I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. We've always been the majority in the world.
We have.
Right.
It's such a psychological, whatever they call it, I don't know what, but I'm not a minority. It's way more of us than you.
Yeah, you're a minority classified by your governmental status.
Right.
In actuality,
but in
actuality, the minority.
I mean, for the purpose of the certification, this is my own business. I can get all the contracts.
Exactly.
That's
take
the
your
only
discount,
way.
But I'm not gonna like it.
Okay.
I love it.
Brooke is
take that discount, but I ain't gonna like it.
But I will take it though.
I
will take it.
Yeah. But that's the way they get around things that they do now. You only gotta have at least a certain amount of percent to be a woman-owned or a black-owned business, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's not 100%, right? So they put
51.
a brown person and they
51.
take advantage of the system and get the money.
Oh yeah, I used to work. So when I worked at a marketing agency, back in college, we particularly had this client, big in like, what did he do? I think it's like GDP. No, insurance. It's like insurance. And his wife technically owns 51% of the company, so they can say they're women. They're women owned.
They're women owned. Lots of men do that, and then run the companies themselves.
Yeah.
It's just in the wife's name.
Yeah, she don't know.
Run them government contracts, some set aside monies, because their boys are prime contractors, and that's how they play, and they jump in that subcontracting.
Hello.
Yeah, we're a women-owned company. If you called her right now, she's got no clue what is going on
in that business.
I think she's a stay-at-home mom. Like, I mean, she just hasn't. This is not her thing. That wasn't like a big ass thing on. But that's just not her realm at all. She's just there in name. I'll be honest with you, I would do that too. Just whatever. If it benefits my household, I'd do it too. We get double. Black and women owned.
Yeah. And women owned.
Yeah, that's what I got. I got that one.
I need to do that, y'all.
Me too. Me too. But I mean, and it's all, I'm just saying, like, I'm going to say this all ties back to the reparations conversation of the fact that what we think is going to look like is not going to look like, right? Yeah. We technically have received some type of reparation. Like
in some type of way. Yeah.
Right. And I will even go so far as to say this. They would play you and be like, girl, you got that stimulus check. They're your reparations. Now you know they'll come up with some stuff like that.
Yeah, it's always a backhand.
It was for everybody.
Yeah, you were like, what's the specific subject? We're gonna talk about it all.
I feel like our outro should be the Mona Long song. We could do this for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah, you probably right. Yeah, y'all can. Cause y'all mentioned ADOS and the FBA, but y'all didn't even get into the conversation about you know, who should, you know, should Caribbean people be included or excluded and all of that.
Right.
So you might have to do a part 2 to just talk about that part and the whole FBA versus ADOS and you know, the Tariq Nasheed and Yvette Carnell's.
See, that's his own thing.
that's
his own thing.
That's his own thing. We wouldn't. I mean, I got a bedtime. I don't know about y'all.
That's a whole nother conversation right there. So, Astoria, you mean to tell me that reparations probably won't look like that Chappelle Show skit from 2003 where they was buying rims and menthol cigarettes and starting record labels?
Nah.
Reparations not gonna look like that?
Nah, I mean, if that's the reparations, then technically the Jews still own you because all the record labels.
It's owned by them.
Owned by the Jews.
What they say? We gave the blacks all the money and they gave it back.
Gave it right back.
They gave it right back.
Facts. But society taught us to be like that. So
yeah, this is true.
Okay. Well, let me start.
Are you done?
Get my clothes because I'm here to make you think. Right? This what I'm gonna do. All I'm gonna say is go home and play the Monopoly game with your family. You be the person that is the slave that don't get none of the $200 when you cross around for about 3 rounds. That's literally what we just did, right? In our real life, right? In the Monopoly game. All the white people got the $200, they pass go, do not go to jail, right? We gonna go to jail, still not collect $200 when we pass the go for about 3 rounds. See how far you make it in Monopoly. That's literally where we are in life. That is my final thought for y'all. Just think about that. And that lets you know why we probably will never get reparations, why we will always be behind. Because we are really playing the catch-up game with the other people and not understanding the game. Yeah, so that's my final thought. You want me to give you my information too, or you just want my final thought? Information, all right, y'all can find me on Instagram, Miss Story, so MS_STORI. Once you click the link in my bio, it'll take you to anything that you want to see that I have done, whether that be me as a hairstylist, Reiki practitioner, all that good stuff. It's all there for you. So yeah. And on Twitter, that's where you get my real life when I be like saying random things, how I really feel on Black Twitter. Let me put it on Black Twitter. And it's the same thing, Miss Story, MSSTRI.
My last thought is, I mean, this is really the start of a conversation. And I think if you know, if we're being honest, I still don't think we're really gonna see it. I think at that point, you really have to consider how do you bring about your own reparations to yourself, or in some type of way, be a better asset to the next generation. Because the same way that just praying for something and not working is not gonna bring about what you prayed for, just talking about reparations and then not trying to come up with something to at least be able to assist your own self and your own life and your own immediate family, I think becomes a wasted conversation. For those who don't know, my name is Khadirah Muhammad, owner of Omnipotent Marketing Systems Implementation Engineer. And so if you're a coach or consultant who's already making 6 figures, I can help you make $50,000 of your time back. If you want to learn more, just go to omnipotentmarketing.com.
I think we will get reparations, but our oppressor is not going to be given to us. The same way that the January 6th insurrectionists were able to flip the script and turn that into just a normal tour day at the Capitol, I think we're going to have to take what we want. And I think we're going to have to not be shy about what is ours, what is our culture, and what is our delineation? So yeah, no one through history, when you think about, I can't remember anybody's name right now, but people take what they want, they don't ask for it, they conquer, and we are going to have to, I guess, colonize the colonizers. Yeah, I think it can happen, but it's not going to happen in a nice way, the way we want it to. And I'm Brooke Sinclair, a CEO of Valorant. Catch us on Instagram, LinkedIn, or Twitter. Thank you.
Wait, was it don't import it? Valor it?
Oh Lord, yeah.
Okay.
We were waiting.
Important.
I know
Valorant.
she didn't go. She
I'm
didn't do
sorry.
any of her hand
I want you to
motions.
start
I'm
over.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Y'all silly. Y'all silly.
Go ahead, Nesha.
Okay, so my final thought is basically like, it'd be nice, you know what I'm saying? Like, it'd be nice, but do I necessarily think that it's gonna happen? No. I do agree that it would have to be like, us creating some type of ecosystem, and then that it is definitely something for us that we have to go after on our own if we want to be not in the running, because it's not necessarily in the running for anything, but if we just want to have what we consider to be comparable to the type of wealth or the type of opportunities and everything, then we just have to create our own opportunities, whether it be banking systems, whether it be farms, like we've said, whether, like whatever sustainability, it just has to be ours. So I think it's real important because it's, across the board, I don't think any of us really think it's something that would happen, but it's just so important for us to support our Black-owned businesses and, like these are small Black businesses and everything like that. So that, that's my closing thought. Nothing crazy. I am Nesha Howell, 6-figure Amazon seller, mentor and coach, at Geeky Niche on Instagram and Twitter. I don't know. That's where you can find me. Usually I'm talking about, and the Grounded Entrepreneur on YouTube channel. I'm working on videos, so it'll be good to go. Thank you guys.
All right. That's right. And thank you, ladies. Thank you, Brooke, Khadirah, Astoria, and Nesha for coming on and giving us your insights on this very important topic. And we look forward to the next topic of the next show. We got some more awesome topics lined up for Women's History Month. So look out for that. As a matter of fact, go ahead and like, share, subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the bell so you can get the notifications for when these episodes get posted. And on behalf of the 7 Spheres of Money, DJ the Money Coach team, I wish all of you a pom-pom lifestyle that is plenty of money, peace of mind. And we want you to come join us on the beaches of the World Club. And your beach doesn't have to be on an island next to sand or water, like, Astoria always has to have some sand or water. It doesn't have to be sand and water, but it can very well be sand and water. But your beach is a place that you go to mentally, where you find your tranquility and your peace of mind, and that place where you take what is owed to you. We will see you on the next episode of Bet on Black, the women, the family, the legacy. Peace.
Everybody, this is DJ the Money Coach. You just saw me give you 5 secrets to accumulating wealth in the wintertime. Secret number 1, only acquire real estate in the off season. I only acquire real estate from October to January for the past 20 years, and that has helped me create a strong 6-figure income and a 7-figure net worth. And I can teach you how to do the same thing. I'm going to help you and guarantee you how to acquire a property in the next 30 days. I'm going to get you a $15,000 property with a 12% rate of return in the next 30 days if you're wise enough to invest in yourself. Because if you want to achieve the pom-pom lifestyle, which is plenty of money and peace of mind, then you have to learn the secrets of the wealthy. And the first rule is make your money on the acquisition, not on the sale. I'm DJ the Money Coach. Come join us on the Beaches of the World Club.